Hello everyone, welcome to my presentation video. Let me introduce myself. My name is Hana Malidha Hassan and my student ID number or name is 2024-31057. In this video, I will explain my web programming project regrading simple student data management or aplikasi pengolahan data mahasiswa. The goal of this project is to build a web application that can accept student input through a form, store that information into a SQL database using the PHP MySQL extension, and then immediately display the submitted data back to the user. I will guide you through the database structure to source code, and finally a live demonstration of the website workflow. Let's get started. First, let's take a look at the database. I'm using my SQL via phpMyAdmin. I have created a database name La Practica. Inside the database, there is one table called Mahasiswa. Here is the structure of the table. It consists of 5 columns. Number one is name. This use varchar data type to store the student ID. The second one is name. They store the student full name. And then prodi, this stores the study program. And then jenis kelamin, this is a type of gender, either girl or boy. And then finally as alamat. I use the text data type here because addresses can be quite long. This database is ready to receive data from our PHP application. Now let's move to the source code. The first and most important file is connexi.php. This file is responsible for establishing a connection between our PHP code and the MySQL database. Here I define 4 variables. Number one is host, it's local host, and then user is a root, and path is empty because I'm using the default XMPP settings, and DB matches the database name we saw earlier, which is Laprak3. Then I use the MySQL connect function. This is the core of the MySQL extension required for this assignment. I also added a simple if statement here. If the connection fails, the script will stop and show an error message using MySQL connect error. This helps in debugging if something goes wrong with the server. This is index.php. This the user interface. I create a simple HTML structure. You can see I use some internal CSS here just to make the form look neat and centered. The most important part is the form tag. Please notice the attribute here. Action is simpan PHP. This means when the user clicks submit, the data will be sent to the simpan file. After that method, it means post. We use the post method because it is more secure for sending data compared to get, and the data won't be visible in the URL bar. Inside the form, I have input fields for name, a drop down, select for study program and gender, and a text area for the address. All fields have the name attribute, which is crucial for PHP to identify the data later. And the last is Simpan PHP. This is the logic file simpan PHP. First, I include the connection file using include connect PHP. Then I check if the submit button was pressed using set pause submit. I capture all the data sent from the form into PHP variable name, nama, and prodi, and so on. Here's the SQL query. Insert into mahasiswa, I executed this query using my SQL query. This function takes the connection and the query as parameters. If it's run successfully, the script continue of continue to the HTML part below. Instead of predicting to the separate page, I decide to display the result directly in this file as requested by the assignment. Down here, I use PHP echo to print the variables back to the user inside a simple card layout. Finally, there is a back button, a have index PHP that links back to the form page to the user can input new data. Enough with the code, let's run the application. Here is the index PHP page. It's look clean and simple. I will try to input some data. For name, I will type 2020 for 31001. For Nama, I will use Nacha. Program study, I want to choose Teknik Informatika, and then jenis kelamin female, and an address is Jalan Kenangan Indah. Number now I will click the button of simpan data. Success! As you can see, the page display data mahasiswa berhasil disimpan. It shows the exact data I just entered, the name, program, and address. To verify, let's quick check the database. There is the new record for Nacha has been successfully inserted into the database. If you get back to the app and click Kembali ke form, it's take me back to the info page ready for the next student. Like this. Bam! It concludes my explanation for the web programming assignment using PHP and MySQL. I have demonstrated the database structure, the code implementation, and the functional workflow of the application. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye.